engines on the Fat Controllers Railway are good at different things. Gordon likes pulling the express. James likes doing shunting. Thomas is good at doing his branch line. And Percy likes carrying the milk. And when Edward is not hauling trucks, he is very good at being a back engine. He buffers up behind and helps push. Edward is the youngest engine ever. One evening, Gordon came to the station and told everyone about Edward, but he didn't look happy. Edward is a stupid fusspot, said Gordon. He should retire soon. Said Percy, who was on drugs usually. Retired, said Thomas. Means taking oral service when you stop working. And not a moment too soon, said Gordon. And the other big engines agreed to Gordon about his plan for Edward, but Percy was very upset. That evening he went to visit the Fat Controller. What's wrong, Percy? He said. Is Edward going to be cried Percy. Don't worry, said the Fat Controller. I'll send him a matter immediately. He did next morning. The new loop line is completed, said the Fat Controller. I want you to teach Stepney how to run it properly. But sir, he said, who will look after the trucks? Don't worry. I will send in Duck, Donald, Douglas, Oliver and Toby to do your work while you're helping Stepney. Oh, thank you, sir, said Edward proudly. Shall I be away long? Just for about 2 years, said the Fat Controller. But please be careful, it is easy to derail up there. So please be back before night time comes and it's almost dinner. Yes, sir, said Edward. And he chuffed away to help Stepney. When the engines heard that Duck and the others was going to help them, they were impressed. Duck is very reliable, said Henry. And Donald is very responsible when the others do his work, complained Percy. And Douglas, Oliver and Toby are really useful, said Thomas. It makes no differences to me, said Gordon. I like it when Edward is on holiday. And he chuffed away with the express. But the other engines just laughed about what Gordon had said. Edward enjoyed working with Stepney. It was great chuffing along with the beautiful countryside. Meanwhile, Duck, Donald, Douglas, Oliver and Toby were doing a great job of helping with Edward's work. Meanwhile, back on the Bluebell Railway, Edward was showing Stepney around the new loop line. They liked it very much. This is the life, said Edward. Ha, you know it is, said Stepney. Oliver and Duck split sides to help with Edward's jobs. Oliver took a train of empty coal trucks to the quarry, and Duck pulled a goods train for Edward. Meanwhile, things were going well for Donald and Douglas. Donald hauled a heavy load to the docks to go on a ship, and Douglas pulled a train of oil tankers to the depot. Even Toby helped to deliver some Christmas trees to the garden shop. Meanwhile, Thomas was puffing proudly along, complaining to Annie and Clarabel. You know, he said, I like Edward. So do we, said Annie. I wonder how he's getting on. Thomas knew he was fine. Edward puffed along with some 2 trucks. And Stepney was doing great at delivering some flower bushes to the garden shop. Soon they had to stop for a rest. I hope Duck and the others are doing fine, said Stepney. They're helping with your work. Yeah, I'm sure they're fine, said Edward. But they weren't. Duck was shunting trucks for Thomas, but the big engines decided to tease him. Once Gordon and Henry left, they wheezed steam at Duck. Shh! And even worse, Duck had to haul a train of flour trucks to market. The trucks were being very naughty to him. Duck should play with rubber ducks cause he's no good at pulling trucks. Quack, 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 hold back, they said. As Duck arrived on Gordon's hill, he found himself going slower. What's happening to me? Said Duck. His wheels stopped altogether and steam started leaking out. Your safety valve is blocked. Bother, moaned Duck. And Oliver had to take a trip to the mountains. He and Toad were helping to pull a train of grain to the mill, but didn't see some points ahead of them. Oliver was switched onto the wrong track. What's happening? Cried Oliver. I don't know, said his driver, and he applied the brakes, but all of his wheels just skidded along the rails. Oh, he's skating, Mr. Oliver, said Toad, but before Oliver could say anything, it got even worse for Donald and Douglas. Get out of my way! Cried Donald as he saw a cart full of manure. Donald's driver applied the brakes. No, I'm stinky, said Donald. So am I, said Douglas. How can we have to get into this situation? I don't know, said Douglas. Well, let's just get out of this. I don't know, said Douglas. But then it got even worse for Toby. He was shunting trucks full of flour to mill, but didn't stop in time or be uncoupled properly. All the trucks were smashed, and Dusty spotted the situation. You stupid tram, he said. How am I supposed to run my market? Sorry, said Toby. Meanwhile, Gordon was chuffing happily along the express line with his coaches. This is what I like to call being fast, said Gordon. This is the life, don't you think, driver? I know it is, said Gordon's driver. Gordon rattled over the viaduct and through the countryside. I am the fastest and I am the best, said Gordon as he chugged along. Meanwhile, Duck was starting to panic. Gordon's coming! He's going to crash into me! Duck's guard telephoned for the signalman. It's too late to switch Gordon onto the other line! You'll have to flag him down! The guard waved his red flag, but Gordon didn't know why he was waving it. That was until he found out why. Get out of my way! Cried Gordon. Gordon's driver applied the brakes, but it was too late! Later that evening, Gordon and Duck came back very cross, and they told Thomas and Henry about what happened. Duck was in my way, said Gordon. I tried to stop but I crashed into him, and look how damaged I am. It wouldn't have happened if that idiot and stupid back engine was doing his job, said Duck. Calm down, you fool, said Thomas. It's not Edward's fault. Yes, said Henry. He's a friend of mine and likes being a back engine, doesn't he? No, he doesn't, said Donald and Douglas. Just look at us, we are stinky. But Oliver came by. I'm covered in snow, said Oliver. The snowy mountains was fun, said Toad. Let's go there again. Then Toby puffed up. Oh man, I did it this time, he said. Thomas, are you there? Yes, Toby. What did you do? Said Thomas. I was busy shunting trucks for Donald, but then I wasn't looking very well. You should speak to the fat controller, said Thomas. So Toby did. What's wrong, said the fat controller. We want Edward back, said Toby. He's throwing his help for Stepney. Please, we want him back. Certainly, said the fat controller. You shall go to the Bluebell Railway and bring Edward back to Sodor. Toby was very pleased, and he chuffed along the mainland to look for Edward. Soon, Toby made it to the Bluebell Railway. It looked so beautiful. I must find Edward, said Toby. He chuffed along the tracks non-stop. He puffed through the mortar mill and through the forbidden forest to look for Edward. Toby chuffed through some branches and bushes, and finally he came across Edward. What's wrong, Toby? Said Edward. We need you back right away. Can you do that? Said Toby. Edward was very pleased. Soon Edward was back on Sodor. He shunted trucks here, there and everywhere for the engines to take on journeys. And finally, Edward was back to being a back engine to help engines up the hills. This made him very pleased. And everyone is very fond of Edward, but they still know he is a mixed traffic engine.